Good day, everybody. There has been some interesting news in the bicycle industry, and I would like to give my thoughts, opinions on them. Number one being the news, unsurprisingly, if you're in the industry, that Specialized is going consumer direct. So I've got a few things to go over with you guys, but the big topic of today is Specialized. One of the big three. If you're new to the channel or new to the bike industry as a whole, the big three bike brands that are out there are Trek, Giant, Specialized. Those are called the big three because they are the biggest sellers in the world. They're the biggest bike brands, not so much biggest companies anymore after the Pond Holding acquisition. They're the big three. So when one of the big three decides to go consumer direct, it's gonna sound some alarms, and it's a big deal. So I want to go over a few things with you. First, a private consortium headed by Kohlberg, Kravis, Roberts & Co. has reached a conditional agreement to buy Accell Group. Now, who is Accell Group and why do you care? Accell Group owns the brands. It owns a lot of brands, but the big ones that most people are gonna recognize are gonna be High Bike, they do a lot of e-bikes, Ghost, LaPierre, and Raleigh. They own a bunch of other stuff, but Raleigh is the one that I'm really interested in, as well as Ghost and High Bike. Keep an eye on those brands, because I really want to see what is going to happen to them since they've just been purchased. Accell Group is one of the largest bike groups in the world, rivaled by the Netherlands Pond Holding. Pond Holding just recently acquired Durrell. Durrell Industries owns Cannondale. GT Schwinn Signature. Pond bought them, so now Pond is considered one of the biggest bicycle companies in the world, not bike brand. So you have to get your definitions correct here when it comes to that kind of stuff. But what was really interesting about KKR for short and them buying Accell, they are a previous investor of Lyft. They looked into buying Canyon, but the big one is, if you've heard recently, Zwift, the online cycling platform, is coming out with their own hardware. Hardware being a new indoor bike and a new indoor trainer. KKR was the investment firm that essentially became a minor investor in Zwift, but fronted all of the money so Zwift can do that. This happened in September of last year. It was a $450 million minority investment from the KKR group, and that was so they could offer their own hardware. The dots aren't fully connected to know what the plan is for them with Accell Group, but it's just interesting. You know, their fingers are already in the bike industry, so I like to point stuff like this out. One other thing that happened, Tony Ellsworth is rejoining Ellsworth Bikes, which is great. I used to really like the Ellsworth bike brand, 10, 15 years ago. They were really, really cool bikes, high-end bicycles. They went downhill very quickly, in my opinion, and this tends to happen whenever one of the head honchos that kind of built the brand up leaves. So whenever Tony Ellsworth left, I don't know a whole lot about him, but the brand went downhill quite fast. They lost a lot of sales. I stopped seeing the bikes around. He's rejoined Ellsworth, so I'm curious to see what happens with that brand. Kona Bicycles was recently sold. This one was out of nowhere and it surprised me, and when I first read it, I was like, what the heck? Because it says Kona Bicycles has been acquired by Kent Outdoors. So all of you, when you hear Kent, you're like, Kent? Like Huffy Kent, sold in Walmart? Kona is now being sold in Walmart, maybe? No, that's not what that means at all. It makes it super confusing, but Kent Outdoors is an Ohio-based company that was known until Wednesday as Kent Watersports. Now, since they have bought Kona, they are Kent Outdoors, and they own several outdoor brands and watersport brands. Just putting it out there. So Kona has been sold, and they are owned by an outdoor company that I have not looked into yet. I want to see more what Kent's done. Let's move along to what you're all here for. The big news that Specialized is going to add consumer direct sales starting February 1st. They call it Rider Direct option. Let's just go through what they're doing. So if you're a Specialized shop, or if you're a consumer and you want to buy a Specialized, you can still walk into a brick and mortar Specialized dealer and you can buy one, or a company-owned store, or you can buy it straight from their website. You can have it delivered by a tier 1 or tier 2 Specialized dealer. The dealer will assemble the bike, you can come pick it up, and the dealer would get, dude, reading through this is bullcrap. So, if you're a tier 1 or tier 2 Specialized dealer, and I want to purchase a bike, I can buy it from Specialized website. The dealer has to assemble it, and they get 50% of the normal margins on a bike sale. Let's just break that down. Basically, if I was a Specialized dealer, and let's say I had a bicycle on the floor here that cost $400, let's say I had to pay $300 for it, so I only get $100 on that bike sale. Now, if you would only get $50 for that bike sale. That's basically what that means. So your margin is what you make after you buy a bike if you're, new to this stuff. But let's scroll down here. You can also buy directly from the Specialized website, opt to have the bike assembled and delivered to your door by that Specialized dealer, and they call it a white glove delivery and fitting, and the dealer will receive 75% of their standard margin. So instead of making $100, you will deliver the bike after you've assembled it, and you will fit the person to it, and you only make 75% of your margins. Giant does their own version of you as the consumer being able to purchase a bike on the internet, but the way it works is, so let's say we have the bike on the floor here already, and it's assembled, it's ready to go. You can go on to Giant's website, and you can see that we have the bike on the floor, and you can purchase it online, and we make the sale, right? We get our full margin. Now, if we don't have the bicycle in stock, but Giant USA, the website, has the bike in stock, you can hit click and collect. We have to confirm it and go through all this stuff. They ship us the bike and we assemble it. We get our full margin. So instead of us paying that $300, getting the bike shipped here, assemble it, and then try to sell it, they just go ahead and give us that $100 we would have made anyway from the sale. I could almost get behind something where a company's like, look, we made the sale because we're putting the infrastructure to have online sales. So as long as you assemble the bike, you get 50%. Like, okay, maybe I can get behind that a little bit, but requiring the dealer with the white glove to do a delivery and fitting, and then you still don't receive your full margin, that's just not right to me. I don't like that, man. I mean, tell me what you guys think. I don't think I'm being that harsh. I think it's kind of crappy, especially when Giant is just all for the local bike shop. They're like, we believe in you guys. We believe that the community is ran by the local bike shop. But I think this is also why, if you remember, they were interested in purchasing Mike's Bikes. Mike's Bikes, one of the largest independent bike dealers in the US. They were Specialized biggest dealer, and guess who bought them? Pawn Holding purchased them. If you've been watching some of the news within the bike industry, Specialized has been buying up some local bike shops and turning them only into Specialized stores, and I think they were doing that in preparation for this. This is why I said that it wasn't a surprise. I will link it down below. There's an article on Bicycle Retailer. Specialized dealers say they'll make the most of it. You can read through that, and a lot of Specialized dealers do not seem pleased with this. If you're a Specialized dealer, leave it down in the comments, because I'm curious to talk to some of you guys to see how you feel about it. And yeah, people were saying, it's interesting to do this at this time. Availability is already poor. Specialized hasn't been able to provide bikes for their dealers, and now they're just making this harder on their dealers. I don't want this to sound like it's a huge bash on Specialized, because I think they make good bikes. I think they might be a little overpriced, but I think they make good bikes. Of course they do, or else they wouldn't be as big as they are. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. Specialized going consumer direct. That's what I got for you. Quick update on the bike industry. Some news there for you. And yes, I will see everyone in the next one. Later, guys. Bye-bye.